Psalm 106, verses 34 through 48.
It has well been said that the one thing we learn from history is that we don't learn from history, and I suppose that's true. Anyone who's raised children or trying to help raise grandchildren knows this. Somehow the new generation doesn't believe that the older generation knows anything. Psalm 106 certainly bears this out. Psalm 106 is a record of how Israel was blessed and then they sinned. They were delivered and then they sinned. They were helped of God and then they sinned. God helped the nation so many times, and the nation repeatedly turned away from the Lord. And I notice here how they did it. Verses 35 through 39. But they were mingled among the nations. There's step one. You start mingling. They broke down the walls of separation. God had warned Israel, do not mingle among the nations. Do not get involved with them. Because here's what happens. Verse 35 says they learned their works. First you mingle, and then you learn. You start learning how they do things. You start saying to yourself, well, perhaps they have some good things that we can learn. But before long, verse 36 tells us, they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. They mingled, they learned, they served. And that was the thing Moses warned them about. If you start learning about them and their way of life, you'll end up serving false gods, and they did. Now the tragedy is, the families were the ones that suffered. Verse 37, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto demons. They mingled, they learned, they served, they sacrificed, and they lost the next generation. I think today many Christians who have broken down the walls of separation, who are mingling and serving the world, are sacrificing their own children to demons. Satan has moved in. Verse 39, thus were they defiled, and they played the harlot. Israel was married to Jehovah God, and now they were being unfaithful to their marriage vows. Don't mingle, don't learn, don't serve, don't sacrifice, don't be defiled. Keep your holy walk with the Lord.